Suddenly, out of almost nowhere, it seems that Tesla is no longer just a car company. Check this out from Morgan Stanley. Humanoids, Optimus Primer. Wait, didn't your mother tell you not to play with your words? Anyway, AI is driving transformational change in robotics. We believe the humanoids opportunity is far bigger and faster adopting than autonomous cars. By the way, that's a massive call. And we'll see a greater quantum of capital behind it. Tesla is at the epicenter of the theme. Investors may need to add new tabs to their Excel models. Bro, it's happening. The narrative is shifting. And by the way, can confirm, if you're not modeling the implications of humanoid robots in your Tesla valuation, you should be. Advancements in AI are transforming the robotics industry. We believe adoption of embodied AI may be far more rapid than autonomous vehicles. Labour shortage and demographic trends increase the commercial relevance and paths of adoption and economic payback period across a broad range of industries. We built a proprietary total addressable market model examining the labour dynamics and humanoid optionality across over 830 job classifications. The global labour market, today by the way, is $30 trillion. For years, machine learning was limited to self-reinforcing software algorithms. The advancement of large language models and generative AI have made a great leap into the field of robotics, accelerating how physical machines learn through natural language, imitation, and simulation. Generative AI is transforming how robots learn by giving them a chance to observe and imitate behaviours in both the physical and virtual world, connected through natural language and iterated in the data center. Similar to how large language models, LLMs, help drive even greater capability of ChatGPT, multimodal models are driving innovation in robotics. AI algorithms can significantly shorten the R&D cycle by automating repetitive asks, enhancing data analysis and predictive capabilities, enabling virtual simulation and optimizing design and testing processes. As an AI-adjacent field, humanoid hardware development can now directly benefit from the increased capital formation and R&D investment into the robotics theme. Now, this is getting a little bit wordy, but in essence, I agree here. The long and short of it, progress on humanoid robots is going to happen a lot faster than I think most people are expecting. Remember the ChatGPT moment out of nowhere? LLMs just went from pretty ordinary to holy shit. As I've said in the past, unlike autonomous vehicles, where the stakes are literally life and death, it's not so for humanoid robots, meaning you can tune them to be a bit more aggressive in terms of what they attempt. The downside, maybe a robot drops a box of shit in a factory. Who cares? That's very different from accidentally running somebody over and killing them. AI leaps into the physical and atomic world. AI is all around us. AI listens to you. AI sees your face and body. AI knows where you are right now. AI can read. AI can write. AI can talk. AI can make a picture of cats wearing little cowboy hats playing, oh god damn it, canasta. But other than running loads of algos and activating a few switches, AI rarely ever actually moves. In nature, motility is an organism's ability to move independently under its own energy. According to fossil records, the earliest evidence of motility on Earth... Oh, cover your eyes, dear creationists. This is not a safe space for you. The earliest evidence of motility on Earth traces back to bacterial flagella, spindle-like extensions used for locomotion, in the Precambrian era, which is just after God created the Earth. The lines between mobile device and robots are beginning to blur. And now we have a table of the top humanoids from pop culture. Feel free to pause the video. Let me know in the comments below who's your favorite from these. For me, unquestionably, Data. Why humanoids? Many investors reading this report will ask the question, I thought Tesla was a car company. Why do we need robots shaped like humans? I can take that one, folks, because there's currently an entire world that we've built and designed for, wait for it, humans. The most obvious form factor for useful robots would be human, because we can quickly slot them into human-like situations. There are indeed strong arguments for robotics to take many highly specialized forms, e.g. robot arms, snake-shaped robots, robot dogs, robotic dust. Robotic dust? What the? Are they literally talking about nanobots right now? And as many form factors as you can imagine. However, many robot and AI experts say the strongest argument for robots in human form is that in a world already created for humans, the environment is already brownfielded for humans. We know. Thank you. Cool story, bro. We know. Thank you. Obvious things are obvious. Moving ahead a bit, obviously, a humanoid robot will be able to adapt into the world where humans have been doing things and designed everything for humans. Obvious things are obvious. We also have the most amount of data to train these robots than other types of robots because we have the same physique. Additionally, think of the great variety of tasks that humans are able to perform with our bare hands or using tools and the multitude of machines designed for human hands and fingers. Yes, exactly. Again, before humanoid robots, humans did all the things in a humanoid form. So clearly, a humanoid robot, hence human form, humanoid, in theory can do all the things that a human could do. Literally all the things. It's kind of a big deal. Now we see a comparison between specialized robots and humanoids. I mean, we don't even need to read this. Extremely efficient at doing very narrow tasks, capable of doing everything. Game over. Robots look like people because the most important reason is that we built the world for ourselves. And so the workstations of a factory, the manufacturing line of a factory, was really created for people, said the CEO of NVIDIA. Framing the total addressable market. As of November 2023, the US labor force stands at around 162 million people. At an average salary of just under $60,000, the US labor market is worth just shy of $10 trillion annually. There are approximately 3.4 billion people employed worldwide. Assuming a $9,000 per worker annual salary implies approximately a $30 trillion global labor market, roughly 30% of global GDP. Given the thousands of individual jobs performed by humans, the total addressable market exercise required a far more detailed analysis across job stratification to understand the path of humanoid substitution, gated by economic paybacks, supporting supply chain, infrastructure, and other factors. Yeah, and they love their word salads, don't they? Let's skip ahead a bit. Morgan Stanley's total addressable market model has been built to, quote, realistically look at an available subset of this theoretical $30 trillion universe. But I just want to take a moment here. Over the short term, fair enough. Humanoid robots aren't going to be able to do everything humans could do today instantly. However, over the long term, why would there be a limitation based on the current number of humans? Why would that be a cap if useful humanoid robots can do what humans could do today and we make more of them? Just like if there was more humans, obviously the total addressable market grows, right? In other words, $30 trillion for the short term, sure, that's obviously the upper limit temporarily. But long term, I don't think there is an upper limit. In our US total addressable market model, we forecast a humanoid population, cumulative installed base, of 8 million units by 2040. Yikes, I don't think they're massively underestimating this. And 63 million units by 2050. While our analysis does not currently consider a humanoid installed base greater than the existing human labor pool, there are scenarios where the economic benefits of the technology could make this a reality. Now, credit where it's due, at least they've acknowledged this. Now, let's talk about what this actually means and why they weren't willing to write the numbers, because people would laugh them off the internet and all the people would unsubscribe from their newsletter. What Morgan Stanley have just suggested implicitly is we can see a scenario in which there are literally 8+ billion humanoid robots on Earth. However, we're currently modeling 63 million by 2050, not 630 million, not 6.3 billion, but 63 million. 2 orders of magnitude and then some less than what they acknowledge could happen. And just to be clear, that 8 billion was a 1-to-1 ratio. They've actually said the install base could be greater than the existing human labor pool. By how much? What if it's 10 times? Now they're 3 orders of magnitude off and then some. So it's kind of wild to see them acknowledge this, even if it's implicit rather than explicit. At this most recent AGM, Tesla CEO Elon Musk expressed his belief that humanoids will eventually outnumber humans by 2-to-1 or more. Quote, I think the ratio of humanoid robots to humans will probably be at least 2-to-1, as we heard. Something like that. 1-to-1 for sure. Obviously, that means around 10 billion humanoid robots, maybe 20 billion or 30 billion. And personally, I think it could easily be 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 10-to-1 over time. Because remember, these humanoid robots, there'll be a use for these in the homes, in our personal lives, housekeepers, assistants, someone to keep Tesla Q virgins, company, gardener, chef, nanny, and so on. But then, of course, there's got to be massive commercial application as well. Now, on the left here, cumulative number of US jobs with humanoid optionality in 2028. They believe around 50 million. Bro, this is kind of wild to read in a Morgan Stanley note, but I'm going to because it's actually real. Crazy seeing the narrative start to gently shift towards the astronomical opportunity here. Check this out. 1 billion humanoid robots by the 2040s. Tesla CEO Elon Musk has been increasingly focused on Optimus in recent months. Yeah, which is why Elon bad. He should be more focused on short-term gross automotive margins and trying to somehow make interest rates lower and advertising during the Super Bowl, because that should be his focus, because some smart people said so. Tesla first unveiled its humanoid robot on September 30th, 2022. Yep, less than 2 years ago. The bipedal robot included 28 actuators in 2 categories. If any nerds want to read all this detail, feel free. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Don't want to put everyone to sleep. Just pause the video. In January of this year, Elon Musk said he expected to see over 1 billion humanoid robots in operation by the 2040s. And Musk stated that he expects to have at least 1,000 Optimus robots working at Tesla next year. And that, quote, things are going to scale up very rapidly from there. Mr. Musk expressed his confidence that humanoid robots will eventually outnumber human beings and probably be like 20 billion or more. And I strongly agree. It's inevitable. It's just a matter of time. A dynamic, fast-changing, competitive landscape. Beyond Tesla, dozens of startups who, by the way, haven't developed FSD and can't transplant the brain of the vehicle into the robot and haven't almost entirely solved vision in the real world, so good fucking luck. Dozens of startups and established firms have engaged in humanoid robotic development on the back of the rapid growth of generative AI in 2022 and 2023. We note even before NVIDIA's keynote speech in March 2024, which left little to the imagination about the company's intentions for physical AI. Robotics were a recurring AI theme, including at the Morgan Stanley conference last March. After a number of false starts, an array of venture investors and companies are betting on the promise of embodied AI. Humanoid startups Figure AI and Agility Robotics have been valued at $2.6 billion and $1.2 billion respectively. By the way, I wonder how much of Tesla's current valuation do you think investors, in theory, attribute to the potential of their humanoid robot, if any, at all? Additionally, major public companies across industries ranging from automotive to consumer electronics are actively involved in humanoid development, while others are actively partnered with humanoid startups to explore potential future use cases. And again, I ask the question, how many of these companies have almost entirely solved vision in the real world with AI and can transplant that into their humanoid robot? Let's see here. I'm looking and I can count one, Tesla, and that's it. Robotics having a chat GPT moment. According to some guy from DeepMind, experts in the robotics community refer to 2 years ago as the good old days, as he explains how LLMs and generative AI have very abruptly flung the field of robotics from an isolated robot island firmly onto the AI flywheel. The science of LLMs and generative AI had long been seen as completely separate from the world of robotics. These worlds are colliding and the impacts are profound. Again, skipping ahead just a little bit, here's some examples of seemingly unrelated areas of science that have combined with profound effect. Area 1, magnetism. Area 2, electricity. Profound effect, the electric motor. And of course, the important one here, AI plus robotics equals humanoid robots. Now check this out. Mentions of the term humanoid in the transcripts of public company conferences and earnings calls over time. Now remember, Tesla's humanoid robot, late 2022, less than 2 years later, suddenly a huge surge. Now why is this surge happening? Obviously because Tesla likes to follow other companies. And so, oh wait, no, but that's not what's happened. What's happened is suddenly a bunch of companies that aren't Tesla, almost 2 years later, are now suddenly mentioning humanoid robots. Weird. Cybernetic collective robotic learning. Imagine for a moment a humanoid robot standing in front of a kitchen island on which an onion sits on a small plate next to a paring knife. Now imagine a large warehouse with 1,000 humanoid robots, each standing next to a kitchen island with the onion on a plate next to a knife. As each trial and error accumulates among the group, the entire population learns at the collective rate of the best robot at any point in time. Now, this is a great example, by the way. Shout out to the Borg. If you know, you know. The entire collective, the fleet of robots, can assimilate knowledge at the same rate. A new ability acquired, instantly, all of the humanoid robots can do the same thing, unlike humans. The aggregated learning of the cybernetic collective spools up to achieve an accelerated frontier of group learning. When the physical practice is completed, with a winning robot having peeled its onion better than the other 999, best practices can then be shared and further improved through hundreds of millions of trials among their digital twins in a simulated omniverse. Have you seen or interacted with a robot today? Some of you may have. Most of you reading this in the summer of 2024 likely have not. This rather nostalgic period of human technological history is quickly passing. The ongoing LLM and generative AI revolution is in the early days of crossing over into robotics. LLM and robotics were long seen as vastly different areas of science. And this is true, and I mean, we've kind of been hearing it, but just to be really clear, every different independent area of AI is converging, eventually, into artificial general intelligence. Language, locomotion, cognition, you name it, everything's going to converge. But there may be far more overlap in how the advancements of LLM accelerates the training and learning of the robot. Whether it is a car-shaped robot, shout out to Tesla's vehicle fleet, or a human-shaped one, the AI brain is searching for its robot body. Humanoid versus autonomous cars. Autonomous vehicles are robots, rather simple robots, in the form factor of a car. By simple, we mean there are only 3 primary actuation outputs of a robotaxi. 1, steering wheel, 2, accelerator pedal, and 3, the brake pedal. By the way, this is actually a very, very important point. Humanoid robots have vastly more degrees of freedom and far more complexity in their ability to interact with and move through the real world. It's not just how fast, how slow, how far left, how far right, and so on. However, the operating domain is extremely complex, public roads riddled with unpredictable elements. We believe that the humanoid time to commercialization will materialize faster than autonomous vehicles given the variability of the autonomous vehicle operating environment, the real world. And, this is very important, corresponding safety implications, as I mentioned earlier. The stakes are so high for autonomous vehicles, literally life and death. Not so for robots that can make a few mistakes, fumble, drop, put things in the wrong place and so on in a factory and no one dies. Versus the humanoid form factor, which can learn in a geofenced domain, warehouse, factory closed off, blah, blah, blah. Even though humanoids have more physical outputs, the difficult operating domain, safety concerns and regulatory scrutiny that autonomous vehicles face pushes their adoption curve out to the right in our view. Advancements in AI may progress faster than the physical science of robotics, e.g. optics, actuation, battery and manufacturing. By the way, I tend to agree. Which may march along its own path of potentially non-linear improvement. All the while, the number of drivers of labour factors across industries and regions will significantly determine economic payback periods, adoption rates, and social acceptance. Yeah, so again, just to simplify this, shout out to the UAW, who are going to be an epic example of fuck around and find out, whose current automotive workers in the United States, all told, on average per year, cost companies more than $100,000 a pop. I'm sorry, not sorry, but many of these workers do very boring, repetitive and simple tasks. And of course, due to labour laws and a bunch of other horseshit, they can only work a certain number of hours a week and then they get paid overtime and then they can't work anymore, blah, blah, blah. They need certain breaks. Labour conditions are very different for people. If a humanoid robot can come in, it can instantly, in theory, work at least 3 times as many hours per week. So if it's 3 times less efficient and slow, it's still on par with a human. Now, if physical hardware costs you $100,000 in a single year, if it's 3 times less efficient and slower than a human, it's already paid for itself. Second year, you've now saved yourself $100,000. But what if it's eventually as efficient as a human? Well, now it's going to pay for itself in 4 months. At this point in time, I'd just like to pass on my condolences to all the dumb fucks who thought the UAW demanding outrageous compensation increases was a winning long-term strategy. They're going to be some of the first to get disrupted. Obviously, this will vary depending on the industry and the task and so on, but you have to understand that just at a really simple level, a humanoid robot in theory can work at least 3 times as much per week as a human. This is going to become a very big deal, very fast. The payback periods for these things is going to be stunning. And remember, you don't just think, how efficient is it compared to a human in year 1? But you think, what about year 2, cumulatively? When does it pay itself back? While advanced humanoid development remains in its early stages, we believe the path of progress over the past few years in the adjacent areas of generative AI, actuators and mechanics, and battery storage are proving to be significant contributors to humanoid developments. Further advancements in these 3 areas will be key to achieving humanoid commercialization. By the way, does anyone know any companies with some experience with AI that's developing their own actuators in-house, has some incredible mechanical engineers and also has some experience with batteries? Does anyone know any companies like that? I just wanted to focus in on this. The hurdles to humanoid adoption. Mechanics. Precision actuators for delicate manipulation. For example, you'd want to see a dexterous, delicate, human-like hand. That'd be really important. And I've personally suggested that the real threshold, the goal, long-term, by the way, I'm not joking, is the ability for one of these humanoid robots to give a superhuman hand job. That is literally the definition of dexterity, finesse, and being able to manipulate a hand. If you know, you know. Plus, sensors capable of processing vast arrays of multimodal inputs. I mean, like our fingers with all the nerve endings, right? Sensor touch, very important. Plus, synthetic materials are prioritized both strength and lightweight, comparable to human skin. Next, uptime. Limiting, predicting, and detecting potential wear and tear. Plus, energy-dense batteries able to support the required operational times. Now, this is true, but by the way, I mean, crazy idea, I know, but eventually, these things will either be able to wirelessly charge from the floor they're standing on, or you can plug them in while they're working. I mean, you don't have to. You could literally leave it charging for 40 minutes if you want, but why would you do that when it could be working for 40 minutes and have a plug stuck up its ass, so to speak? Basically a non-issue. Plus, efficient supply chains and repair networks. Supply chains for these is going to be big. Cost, big time. Component costs, important. And plus the energy and operational costs. Now, the energy and operational costs, energy costs are going to be basically fuck all. Operational costs, depending on software subscriptions, could be a big factor. And the component costs, obviously, you want to get these down. It seems inevitable over time that these things will cost to produce, maybe 10, 15, at worst, probably $20,000. Very reasonable for something that could potentially do $100,000+ worth of labor in a single year. Next hurdle, the development of generative AI models applicable to humanoids and efficient training, both in physical environment and with digital twins. Anyone know any companies that have some experience efficiently training AI in the physical world. Anyone know any companies like that? And then there's navigating the nuance of human tasks and environments. And finally, social hurdles, satisfying various workplace and household safety regulations. Yeah, I think the last place these things are going to roll out is in California. Plus, political and social pushback to the elimination of jobs. Yep, this is definitely going to happen. You're going to see the protests from the UAW workers in particular. It's going to be fucking hilarious. They really did FAFO. But yeah, people who do boring, repetitive, dangerous tasks are going to be real fucking mad when a robot comes for their job. I highly recommend that these people increase their value and their skills so they can move a little bit higher up the labour chain so they get disrupted a bit later. I mean, unless they're okay with, struggling to feed their family, in which case, carry on, nothing to see here. And finally, humans learning to operate and work alongside humanoids. Okay, skipping ahead a bit, per their estimates, building humanoids could range from $10,000 to $300,000. Well, at least we're in the same vicinity on the low end, depending upon configuration and downstream application. Blah, blah, blah. Tesla's Optimus, they estimate currently, bill of materials, as in the parts, how much they cost, $50,000 to $60,000 per unit, excluding software. However, with the benefits of scale, the introduction of AI algorithms to significantly shorten the R&D cycle, blah, fucking blah, 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 the point is they can see Tesla achieving an Optimus sales price of $20,000 a pop. And again, that was based on Musk's estimate of about a $10,000 profit, e.g. make it for 10, sell it for 20, not bad. Now, if there's any ultra autists watching, you can pause the video and see the entire bill of materials from Morgan Stanley here for Tesla's current humanoid robot. Is anyone surprised they came up with a total cost of $50,000 to $60,000 US? That's it. Remember, when Tesla first started producing vehicles, these things were six figures. What can investors do today to prepare for the humanoid robot revolution? I'll take that one, Morgan Stanley. What they can do, it'll help if you're a nerd, is learn about AI, computer vision, neural networks, how this stuff is trained, how one would solve this problem, and then try to decipher if there's any companies out there that already have a huge head start, possibly even an unassailable lead in solving this problem. Once you've done that, I highly recommend building your own Tesla valuation model that includes, as Morgan Stanley pointed out right at the beginning, investors may need to add a few new tabs to their Excel models, and to literally do that. Because this opportunity, even Morgan Stanley in this own note, admit that long term, there could literally be in excess of 10 billion humanoid robots on Earth. This is such a big deal. I'm not going to shut up about it until it's happened. And I've got to take a moment. Isn't it wild to see a note like this from Morgan Stanley? Just a few years ago in 2018, they had a split adjusted bear case for Tesla stock of 67 cents per share. And now they're talking about a $30 trillion opportunity. My, how times change. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients. Plus, has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. Plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game's improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.